Hello, hello, guys. Good evening. How are you guys this evening? I'm going to just wait a little bit for a couple people to join us. Then I am going to start. All right, guys. So it is day 6. And I am Stephanie J. Sanders, and I am bringing you your 30-day preparation for the new year, for 2017. And I have compiled 30 days of activities that you need to do to be successful for the new year. So today we are on day 6, order. One of the most important things next to planning and creating habits. So we spoke about these goals, we spoke about these resolutions, but now it's time to prioritize. This is a struggle for not only the new year, but a struggle just in life, period. And prioritizing can be challenging for a lot of people because they don't know how to. Everything is a sense of urgency. Everything needs to be done now. You can't wait. And honestly, guys, that's just the society that we live in. You know, as Americans, we have to just do it. Everything needs to be done when? Now. When do you need to do it? Right now. But unfortunately, you have to prioritize in order for things to realistically be done. That's why we have the calendars and the alarms. And the alarms help us with time management. Now, we're about to do something. Well, I'm about to show you guys a little bit about life management in regards to your goals for 2017. So I will be referencing a lot the 7 habits of highly effective people, because this book right here, guys, if you haven't read it, by Stephen Covey, if you haven't read it, I need you to read it. I need you to get it, listen to the audiobook, and begin to personally develop yourself, especially coming into the new year. And this, they have a section on here about order, and I'm going to share a lot of things that's going to help you with moving forward. So let me just start off with this. Things which matter the most must never be at the mercy of things that matter the least. So first we have to identify, well, what matters to me the most in the upcoming year? So I want you guys to look at your goals, look at what you wrote down on day 2, and focus in on those things that you need to focus on the most that you feel. So you can go ahead and write down 1s, 2s, and 3s when it comes to your focus. Now, in this book, it speaks about the 4 quadrants. Okay? There are things that are urgent, and there are things that are not urgent. There are things that are important, and there's things that are not important. There are things that are important and urgent at the same time. And when I'm talking about quadrant 1, I'm speaking about those things that are crises, emergencies, things that take precedent over everything. Okay, look at your goals. Which one of these just takes precedent over everything? Let's say you have a health condition. Well, you take precedent over everything because your goals mean nothing if you're dead. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're focusing on that first, if that is, one of your goals moving forward. Then you have those things that are important, but they're not urgent, guys. You have goals that, yeah, they're important, but you don't need to do them right now. And I'm speaking about things, planning, vacations. Yeah, it's important to get, to relax and have a good time, but you don't need to do that right now, especially if you have other things that take precedent over that, like your health, okay? Quadrant 3, we have things that are not important, but they're urgent. There's a sense of urgency with them, and those things are minor phone calls, things you have to do for your job, things that you have to do for the kids. You know, they're important. They're not important, but they still have a sense of urgency. When your child needs something, you need to go out there and you need to get it. Then you have the last quadrant, which is quadrant 4, and those are things that are not urgent and not important at all. Okay? Some phone calls you don't need to answer because they're really not important. It's just another person on the other side of the phone breathing. You can text for all that. You understand? So look at your goals. Do you have things that create a sense of urgency? Things that you need to work on right now. That habit that you started on day 4. That habit is important because you want to continue that until the next year. So identify what that habit is, and if you haven't started your habit, start now, start today, and that is just going to spill over into the next year, because if you think that you're just going to wake up and automatically create a habit, that's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. But moving forward for the new year, you need to have order. You don't want to just have a bunch of goals everywhere and everything all out of place, because the quickest way to failure is being unorganized. So now that you have your handy dandy notebook, now that you have your planner, you have your Evernote that you're using your alarms and your systems, now you have to put things in order. You can't have every alarm go off at the same time or back to back to back. So really dive deep, guys. Look into your goals, look into yourself. What can you realistically do now? What can you realistically begin to do in the new year? Look at the plan that you made. Is this effective? Is this the order in which it is convenient for you? That's what you have to really look at, guys. Now, this is what we don't want. When it comes to things that are urgent and important, you don't want to be stressed out. You don't want to put too much emphasis on those things. You don't want to have too less emphasis on the things that you really need to do. But rule number 1 in order and prioritizing is don't get stressed out. That's the fastest way to end your resolution, is to stress yourself out. But with that amazing plan that you put together, now we're getting ready to structure it and organize it so you won't stress yourself out. You will lighten the burden. That debt that you're going to get out of, that will slowly become off your back. Nothing happens overnight, okay? Rome was not built in a day. That's what they always say, right? The cliche. But now that we know how to build Rome, can't we build it faster? So think about that. Now that you know how you got there, now we know how not to do it and how to do it better. We just have to organize and put things in order and put our lives in perspective. That has to be another big milestone, putting your goals and your habits in perspective while you're organizing what needs to go here. You know, guys, your life is just like a puzzle. You're putting things together, but you want to put it together in a right way that works for you. What works for you may not work for me, which may not work for your neighbor, your sister, your husband, your wife. You have to figure out what works for you. What order is the best logically for you? And just be laser focused, guys. Follow your plan, stick to your plan, keep that order, because you did it at a time where you were not stressed. You could think clearly. Because when the new year hits, baby, it's just going to hit, and you just going to hit the ground rolling. Because you have your plan. You see what's going to happen before it happens. Now, I wanted to leave you guys with a quote. And this is the quote that I want to leave you guys. Effective people are not problem-minded. They're opportunity-minded. They feed opportunities and starve problems. One of the reasons why I have been so successful is because I think in solutions. I don't think in problems. There's always going to be something to happen to you. There's always going to be something to get in your way. But if you think around that problem, if you just go straight for the solution no matter what it is, you will always be successful. And that's how order works. You want to go in the order of solution, never backwards in the orders of problems. So guys, structure your goal and your plan in order. That's going to make you most successful. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this evening, and keep in mind, today is day 6. After day 7, please join me on my page, Stephanie J. Sanders, or at Time Wealth, and then I'll pop up. Because it's all about using your time wisely and really getting the most out of the one life that you have to live. So guys, prioritize and join me tomorrow night, and I will be right here on day 7. And the last day I will be on Facebook Live for day 7 of your 30-day preparation for the new year. Thank you guys for joining me. See you tomorrow night.